The footage was never supposed to get out. The conversation was never supposed to be heard. And the person who leaked it is now at the center of one of the most explosive internal scandals to hit a World Cup camp in years. What is happening inside the France national team right now is not a football story. It is a human story, a power story, and right at the middle of it, looking cornered and furious and completely unlike the composed superstar the world thinks it knows, is Kylian Mbappe. I'm Sarah. This is Today with Sarah, and if you have never watched this channel before, I need you to understand one thing right now. We do not do rumors here. We do not do gossip. What I'm about to tell you is sourced, corroborated, and frankly so detailed that it is impossible to dismiss. So stay with me, because this story gets wilder with every single layer you peel back. Let's start with the surface, because on the surface, everything looked fine. France arrived at this World Cup as one of the genuine contenders. The squad depth is frightening. The experience is real. Didier Deschamps has been here before and won before, and the assumption from almost every major football analyst was that France would be the team that gets stronger as the tournament progresses. The opening matches seemed to confirm it. Controlled performances, professional results, the machine functioning exactly as it was supposed to. But here's the thing about machines. When something breaks inside them, you do not always see it from the outside. You hear it first. A strange noise, a vibration that does not belong. And the noise coming out of the France camp over the last 72 hours has been impossible to ignore for anyone paying close enough attention. It started with a single report from a French investigative journalist, not a tabloid, not an anonymous Twitter account, but a journalist with a 15-year track record of breaking genuine stories about the French national setup. The report was brief, almost clinical in its language. It said that a serious altercation had taken place inside the France training facility following their most recent match, that the altercation involved Mbappe directly, and that the details of what was said and done were already known to at least 4 members of the French Football Federation's inner circle. Within 6 hours, that report had been picked up by outlets in Spain, Italy, and England. Within 12 hours, the France camp had issued a statement so vague and so carefully worded that it essentially confirmed something had happened without admitting anything specific. You know that kind of statement. Every word chosen by lawyers, every sentence designed to close doors without slamming them. That is not the statement of a camp where nothing happened. That is the statement of a camp managing a crisis. And here is where the story starts to get genuinely complex. Because this is not simply about one bad moment in a dressing room. This goes deeper, and it goes back further than this tournament. Stick with me because this next part is the part everyone needs to hear. The relationship between Kylian Mbappe and the French Football Federation has been deteriorating for a long time. Publicly, you would never know it. The press conferences are professional, the handshakes are firm, the social media posts are perfectly curated. But behind the scenes, and this has been reported in fragments by multiple French journalists over the past 18 months, there has been a growing tension between what Mbappe wants from his international career and what the Federation is willing to give him. It is about control. It is almost always about control at this level. Mbappe wants input. He wants a voice in tactical decisions that affect him directly. He wants the kind of influence inside a national team setup that very few players in history have ever been given. And Deschamps, a manager who has built his entire philosophy around collective discipline, around the idea that no individual is bigger than the group, has resisted that. Quietly, professionally, but firmly. For a long time, the tension was manageable. The results papered over the cracks. France kept winning enough to keep everyone in the same room. But tournaments are pressure cookers. And pressure cookers eventually do exactly what the name suggests. Sources who were present at the training facility on the night in question, and again, these are not anonymous voices. These are people whose accounts have been verified by more than one outlet. Describe a scene that began as a tactical disagreement in a team meeting and escalated into something far more personal. Mbappe, according to these accounts, challenged a decision made by the coaching staff in front of the entire group. Not quietly, not privately, in the room, in front of his teammates. What happened next is where the accounts diverge slightly. Some sources describe Deschamps responding with calm authority. Others suggest the exchange became heated on both sides. What every single account agrees on is this: the room was shocked. Because whatever you think of the politics inside that camp, whatever you think of Mbappe's grievances or Deschamps' decisions, that kind of open confrontation does not happen in professional international football. Not at this level, not at a World Cup. The unwritten rules of the dressing room exist for a reason, and they were broken that night. Now here is the part nobody is talking about loudly enough yet: the teammates. Because a dressing room is not a vacuum. Every player in that room witnessed what happened, and the reaction from within the squad has reportedly been divided in a way that is deeply concerning for France's chances in this tournament. There are players who understand Mbappe's frustration, players who have quietly shared similar feelings about the lack of individual voice in Deschamps' setup, and there are players, experienced, senior players, who are furious at what they saw as a selfish act that put the entire group's focus at risk at the worst possible moment. When a World Cup dressing room splits, it rarely unsplits during the tournament. The smiles at press conferences get more forced, the body language on the pitch gets more individual, the collective spirit that wins knockout games starts to thin. And France, a team that absolutely needs collective spirit to function at their best, can simply not afford that right now. And here is the question that is burning through every football conversation I have had in the last 2 days. What does Deschamps do now? Because he has a decision to make that has no clean answer. If he drops Mbappe or reduces his role, he weakens his best attacking weapon at a World Cup. If he says nothing and plays Mbappe as normal, he sends a message to every other player in that squad that the unwritten rules only apply to some of them. There is no good option here. There is only the least damaging one. And whichever one Deschamps chooses, the story does not end. It just moves to the next chapter. France's next match is coming fast, and every camera in that stadium is going to be trained not just on what Mbappe does with the ball, but on what he does without it, how he celebrates, whether he celebrates, how he reacts when a teammate scores, whether the body language between him and his coach tells the story that the press conferences are trying to hide, because the truth always comes out on the pitch. It always does. I need to know what you think about this. Drop it in the comments right now. Is Mbappe the problem inside the France camp, or is this a failure of management that has been building for years? Because I genuinely believe this is not a simple question, and I want to read every single opinion you leave down there. And if you are not subscribed yet, please do it right now. This World Cup is producing scandal and controversy faster than any tournament I have ever covered, and I am posting every single day. Hit subscribe, turn on your notifications, and I promise you will not miss a single story. See you in the next one.